are discussing next chapter, classification of periodic table. So here mainly we are discussing the classification of elements. So we know we have different elements like carbon, we know the carbon, silicon, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, sodium, potassium. So we have around, nowadays around 118 elements are present. So now how they classified the elements based on their either physical properties or chemical properties we are discussing. The first of all, the periodic table, the classification is the classified by like different scientists. I gave here three main scientists. The first one is Dobenar, and the second one is Newland, and the third one is Lothar Meyer-Kurz. So now before that, what is periodic classification? That means what is the classification of elements means? Mainly the classification of elements are based on the arrangement of elements based on their atomic masses, and the all elements if you arranged in the vertical column, that is called, they are having all properties are similar. The properties are similar elements we are arranging in the columns, and the arrangement of elements, that means the sequence order is mainly based on their atomic masses. So based on that, the first scientist classified the elements, that is Dobenar. So based on his law, that is law of triad. So based on this, if any elements, the first and last, that means if I take for example three elements, the first and third element, the mass by ratio, that means the ratio of first and third element is equal to middle element. That means if I take 1, 2, 3 elements, now the mass of first and third, the average of 1 plus 3 is equal to the mass of second element, then these three elements belongs to one group he proposed. So I will show you with one example. If I take lithium, sodium, potassium, so we can find out easily the mass number based on number of neutrons and protons. So the lithium is, so we know 7, and sodium mass number 11 plus 11 23, and the potassium is 19, so 40, 39. So 7, 23 and 39. So if I take the average of lithium and potassium, that means 7 plus 39 by 2, it's nothing but 46 by 2, you will get 23. Means the mass of first and third element average is equal to the middle element, then these three elements belongs to one group he proposed. But this theory is wrong, because I will give you some examples, like if I take calcium, strontium, barium, we know calcium, strontium and barium belongs to only one group, but if I go with calcium, the mass number of calcium we know 40, I am discussing here mass numbers, so the calcium is 40 and the strontium is 88 and barium is 137. So if I take the average of 40 and 37, so 40 plus 137 by 2, you will get 177 by 2, it's nothing but 8, 17 is nothing but approximately nearly you will get 87, but 89 you will get, but here we got strontium is 88. So now we are discussing the third example here. If I take chlorine 35 mass number and the bromine is 80, iodine is 127. Now if I take the average of chlorine and iodine, like 35 plus 127 by 2, nothing but 81, but bromine here 80 only the mass number, means it's not equal to the mass number of middle element. So this theory is failed based on law of triads. And not only this one, if I take like iron, cobalt, nickel, and generally these three having nearly the mass number is same, nearly equal. So that means he didn't explain clearly about the all elements classification. So that's why this Dobenar's law is failed. And if I go with the second one, that is Newland's law of octave, and he also arranged the elements based on the mass number, atomic mass, based on atomic mass. But here he gave the main rule is the group separation of the groups is based on musical notes, means after every seventh element, that means after 7, that is nothing but every eighth element is similar to the first element, means it's like musical notes. I'll show you here the musical notes. If I go with sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. Again you will get sa. That means here totally here we have 7 musical notes. So the same model, if I go with hydrogen, first one is hydrogen, the next one is lithium. Based on the mass number he classified. The mass number of hydrogen is 1, lithium is, we know 2 plus 7. The next one is beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. So now we are discussing here based on the musical notes like hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. And now the 8th element belongs to the first group, because I told every 8th element belongs to the first group element. So hydrogen and fluorine, according to his theory, hydrogen and fluorine having same mass number, same group, belongs to same group. Like the fluorine, the next one we know sodium. That means at that time actually there is no inert gases. That's why I am not discussing about helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. So except that I am giving here. So there is no neon. Next sodium. The next one is magnesium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. There is no argon. So potassium, calcium, strontium, titanium, vanadium, chromium. Scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium. These all are the mass numbers except inert gases. I am not giving here inert gases because at particular that time there is no discovery of inert gases. So now in this case, if you observe clearly, okay, maybe hydrogen, fluorine belongs to one group, right? Lithium, sodium, potassium one group, beryllium, magnesium, calcium one group, boron, aluminium, scandium is failed, carbon, silicon, titanium is failed, nitrogen, phosphorus, vanadium failed, oxygen, sulfur, chromium is failed. Reason, these all are belongs to D block. We know scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium are metals, and here oxygen, sulfur, these all are non-metal. That means the physical and chemical properties are not equal to the from fourth group. That's why this theory is failed. The Newland's law of octave is failed because of after beryllium group, if you observe clearly, there is no similar properties. So that's why this one also failed. Then if I go with third one, that is Lothar-Meyer curves. So based on actually the classified elements based on their physical properties, and especially he arranged the elements based on atomic volume. So he take atomic volume is nothing but atomic mass by density. We know the volume is equal to mass by density. So atomic volume values he calculated. Based on that he draw one graph. So for example, if he took all elements and he gave here atomic volume is on y-axis and atomic mass on x-axis. And if you see, observe clearly, according to his theory, he got lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium on the top of the graph. That means these all are belongs to one group. Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium belongs to one group. It's correct. And the next, the down group is the second group like he gave, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. At this case also he classified clearly, no doubt. And the next one is at the bottom of the graphs, that means the curve, the graph curve at the bottom, carbon, silicon, actually here germanium, like at the bottom he got carbon family. And the next, if you observe clearly, the halogens also he got, the next row is he got halogens. But if you observe clearly in this case, he got iron and zinc at this case. According to the atomic volume and atomic mass, if you draw the graph, you will get the iron point at this point and zinc. So these two, there is no particular classification of all elements. So he classified few elements properly, no doubt, but he didn't classify all elements in a proper way by using curves. So that's why this theory also failed, but he took based on atomic volume values, and he mainly classified based on their physical properties. So now the next one, the fourth one we are discussing, that is Mendeleev periodic table. And according to Mendeleev, at that time actually only 63 elements they found, scientists they found only 63 elements. So based on that 63 elements, he classified like a one table, that is Mendeleev periodic table. and this is the first important periodic table classification. He only classified, the first scientist properly classified the elements is Mendeleev. So after that maybe Moseley or maybe long form of periodic tables are there, but the base classification of periodic table by Mendeleev. At particular that time he has only, they found only 63 elements. So I'll tell you about now the fourth classification based on Mendeleev. Now we are discussing the fourth one, that is Mendeleev's periodic law. Based on this Mendeleev periodic law, he also arranged the all elements based on their atomic masses. Like for example, lithium atomic mass is 7. The next one is beryllium, boron, carbon. He classified, but the entire elements he classified into two ways. Two ways. The first one is horizontal lines and vertical. So the horizontal lines he is saying about the periods, and the vertical lines he is saying groups. So if any element is present in vertical columns, then they are in same group as well as same properties. So vertical columns are groups and horizontal lines are called periods. So now if any elements present in one vertical column, then they are belongs to one group, means they are having same physical and chemical properties. And according to his periodic table, the main point is he classified complete 63 elements, and also he gave some space for unknown elements. So that's why, like for example, he left some space for Eka aluminum and Eka silicon. That time there is no the next aluminum, next they don't know actually, but the space for Eka aluminum later they found like gallium and here germanium. So that means Eka aluminum is nothing but gallium and Eka silicon is gallium. After classification of 63 elements they found. So he mainly classified not only 63 elements, and he gave some gap for in future elements also. And the main drawback for Mendeleev periodic table is, the first one, he didn't explain about some anomalous pairs. So what is anomalous? These are the drawbacks mainly for the Mendeleev periodic table. The anomalous pairs means, for example, if I take tellurium 128 and iodine is 127. But he gave in the periodic table, if you observe in the periodic table, you will get anywhere. So, but he gave tellurium first, then followed by iodine. He didn't explain why he gave, because the tellurium properties belongs to one group, and iodine we know, for example, here fluorine, chlorine, bromine is present, and here before that nothing but oxygen, sulfur, selenium and tellurium and polonium. So, but he gave tellurium mass number is 128, iodine is 127. According to him, what first iodine should comes, but here what happened? Tellurium is first, then followed by iodine. So he didn't explain like this type of anomalous space, because tellurium, the properties belongs to oxygen family and iodine belongs to halogen family. But he gave the tellurium mass is more. So, but he gave before iodine. He didn't explain. Not only the tellurium, like some examples are there like cobalt and nickel. We know cobalt is 58 and nickel is 53.6. So he didn't explain about cobalt and nickel, and argon and potassium also. We know argon and potassium. Argon is 18 atomic number, potassium is 19, and here 40, here 39. So but we know always organic first comes, and here cobalt and here tellurium, but they are having more mass number than the next elements. So he didn't explain these type of anomalous space. The remaining cases maybe he classified, but few anomalous space he didn't explain based on atomic mass. And one more point, he didn't explain about the hydrogen. He didn't give the position of the hydrogen exactly, either in halogen family or in first group elements. And the next theory we are discussing the fifth one. So now we are discussing modern periodic table. So actually this table is proposed by Moseley. And before discussing this table, what are the achievements based on this table, I will tell you. And according to Mendeleev table, I gave the drawbacks. The first drawback is what? There is no position of the hydrogen. Explained already. There is no position of the hydrogen. And the second one, he didn't explain about the anomalous pairs. And the third one is, there is no proper classification of lanthanoids and actinoids in Mendeleev periodic table. And if I go with Moseley periodic table, this is the main modern periodic table. So in this case, the main achievement based on this table is, the first one, he gave the position of the anomalous space. Why the anomalous space? Like for example, if you take here tellurium and here iodine. So why tellurium first, why iodine first? He explained clearly based on atomic number. So up to now what I gave the all laws is mainly based on atomic mass. They classified elements based on atomic masses, but the mostly here Z, this is the formula actually based on this he derived square root of V is equal to A into Z minus B. Here Z is nothing but atomic number. So he arranged all elements based on their atomic numbers. So that's why in atomic numbers, if you go with atomic numbers, so tellurium has less atomic number than iodine. So mass number may be more, but atomic number is less than iodine. So all elements are classified based on their atomic numbers. So and the second achievement based on this classification of table is there is no place for isotopes in Mendeleev periodic table. There is no place for isotopes. We know the hydrogen having 3 isotopes. The first one is what? H1 and H12, H13. That means the mass number is changed. That means which one you have to arrange? First hydrogen 1, then hydrogen 2, hydrogen 3, because they are having different mass numbers. But according to Mendeleev's, you have to arrange all 3 isotopes, but according to modern Moseley's periodic table, so these all are having only 1 atomic number, so no need to give the place in periodic table. So the isotope, there is no place for isotopes in periodic table because all isotopes having same atomic number. So main achievements are these two. The first one is he clearly explained about the anomalous space, and the second one is he gave proper explanation for isotopes. So now we are discussing what they gave the periodic table we are discussing here. So mainly the periodic table, the Moseley periodic table is classified into 18 groups and 7 periods. So generally we know the horizontal rows are called periods and the vertical columns are called groups. So now in this case, if I go with first he classified into the entire elements into based on their electronic configuration also we can say the mainly 4. The first one is S block, P block, D block and F block. So I'll tell you the first of all group wise I'll explaining here. So this is the first group and this is the second group and this one is third group elements, fourth group, fifth, sixth, seventh group and 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and again here 13th group here, 13th group is nothing but 3A we can say, 3A, 4A or 14th, 5th A or 15th, 6th A, 7th A and 8th A or 18, total 18 groups. And he gave the columns, that means if I go with horizontal lines, so the first one is, this is the first period actually, it's wrong, 1 minute. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. So now in this case, here I didn't mention about the hydrogen because the hydrogen belongs to here also he didn't clarify about the position of the hydrogen. Maybe hydrogen belongs to a halogen family or maybe first group. So that's why I am giving here hydrogen is the first group and helium, here helium I am writing here. So helium also belongs to halogens family. So this is the first period if I go with hydrogen. So here we have first period is we have hydrogen and helium. In the second period we have lithium, beryllium and boron, carbon, nitrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon belongs to second period. And the third period is sodium, magnesium and the next one is aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine and argon. And as usual the fourth period is this one. Here total we have 18 elements and the next one is rubidium 2, xenon. Here also 18 elements are present. But if I go with cesium period, here we have different classification again. Now in this case, here I gave here empty elements because these two elements actually here according to the given electronic configuration or atomic masses, here it should be lanthanoids and here it should be actinoid. So lanthanoid and actinoid, but lanthanoid and actinoid belongs to the separate block. because they are having the valence electron belongs to f orbital in these elements. That's why they gave place at the bottom of the periodic table. That means there is no place for these two elements in periodic table. He written separately from the periodic table. So that is belongs to F block. So total here elements are 32 because here 18 elements, one less. So that means totally here 17 elements and remaining elements are there. So totally here elements for this period is 32 and here also 32 elements present. But there is no common name for these elements, and here also some elements are present. But up to now we found only 119, 119 and recently found 3 more elements. So total is 122 elements they found. So here some empty places are there. So here we can tell based on their IUPAC nomenclature, we can give the nomenclature, we can give the name for any element. So I'll tell you later about IUPAC naming for elements. So now in this case we are discussing the first group. If I go with hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium, it's nothing but first group, nothing but 1A. That means this entire periodic table he classified into 2 groups. The first one is A group and B group. The A group is S block elements and P block elements, and the middle one, this is B group elements. So A group elements are S and P block and D block elements are B group. So now I am giving A group elements 1A, 2A, and next one is, here it is 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A and 8A group, or we can say 0 group also. I'll tell you later the names clearly. So now you have to remember up to at least S block elements, P block elements and these 3 rows, very important. So if you understand these 3 rows, if you remember, you will get the most of the coordination chemistry is based on this set of 30 elements. And the S block important for groups, we know the inorganic chemistry is nothing but the elements, groups only, we are discussing mainly groups. So you have to remember second group, you have to remember all the elements. So I'll tell you the first group elements what? Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. The second group is beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. And the third group is boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. And the fourth group carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. And the fifth group nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. And sixth group is oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. And the seventh group fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetine. And the last 0 group is helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. And the D block elements, the fourth row is zinc, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Up to zinc everyone knows. You have to remember the next row also. What is the next row? Yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, rhenium, rhodium, here rhenium, rhodium, palladium and silver. The last one is cadmium. So silver and cadmium. And the next one is here the empty row, this is nothing but lanthanoids. So lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, rhenium, osmium, iridium, platinum, gold, mercury. So at least you have to remember these 30 elements and S and P block elements, and F block elements also, if you possibility is there you can remember, but the minimum you have to remember up to mercury. So mercury for the D block and SP block completely have to remember. So what I gave the elements you have to remember in your mind. So the next one we are discussing one by one. What is the name of the elements I am discussing? In the first one, the name of this set of elements are called, except hydrogen I am discussing, they called alkali metals. That means they can form alkali solution with hydroxide. That means for example if I take these molecules in water, they produce sodium hydroxide. For example if I take sodium, it produces sodium hydroxide, or calcium produce potassium hydroxide. So these all are alkali metals. They are metals, basically they are metals with alkali nature, nothing but basic nature. And the second one is beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium belongs to, generally the last row means, I'll give you the periods also here. This is the first period, second period, third period, fourth period, fifth period, sixth and seventh. The seventh period generally elements are radioactive elements. The seventh period elements are radioactive elements. So these properties mainly up to sixth period we can consider. So beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, generally they are alkaline earth metals. So why they called alkaline earth metals means generally they are available, we can extract these elements from earth. So that's why most of the ore is present in earth, so that's why they called alkaline earth metal. That means they can form alkali with water and they generally found in earth, so that's why they call alkaline earth metals. And if I go with the third one, this is called boron family. Third group is another name is boron family. Under boron family, boron, aluminium, gallium, indium and thallium. There is no special name for boron family. And the next one is carbon family. The carbon family is called carbogens. They called carbogens because they are generally the valency is 4. The property is same like carbon. They are starting with carbon, so that's why they called carbogens like carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. And if I go with the next one, nitrogen family is called picogens, chalcogens, halogens. What is the nitrogen family? The nitrogen family is called picogens. So why they called picogens means the picogen nothing but, pico is nothing but pungent smell generators. Pico means pungent smell, gen nothing but generators. For example, if I take nitrogen, if react with water, you will get ammonia, NH3. Same like here, phosphine, PH3. Generally these all are the smell of ammonia or phosphine is pungent smell. So they can produce pungent smell with formation of ammonia, that's why they call picogens. The name is mainly based on their properties. And the next one is chalcogens. They called sixth group elements are called chalcogens. The chalco is nothing but ore. Ore generators is nothing but chalcogens. Why they called ore generator means if I take copper, generally the copper is available in copper oxide. And if I take aluminium available in bauxite nothing but Al2O3. So that means most of the, for example, copper is available with CuS also. So generally any metal is mixed with these elements. That means in the nature, if I take any metal, generally the metal is found along with sixth group elements like either oxides or maybe sulfides. That's why they call chalcogens, means ore generators. In the presence of oxygen sulfur only we will get the stable ore. Then we can separate the ore from ore to pure metals by using metallurgy. We will discuss later about the metallurgy and all. So this is picogens and chalcogens. The next one is halogens. We know fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine are called generally halogens. So why they called halogens means halo is nothing but salt. Gen means generators. They produce salts with first group or second group elements generally. If I take chlorine and sodium, what we will get? NaCl. NaCl we know salt. MgBr2. MgBr2, magnesium bromide is a salt. Generally these all are produce salts with metals. That's why they called halo means salt generators. Gen. So halogens. Seventh group elements. And the last group elements are called eighth group or zero group or noble gases or inert gases. So why they called zero group we understand, because these all are having the electronic configuration. If you know that NS2 NP6, that means these all elements having electronic configuration is fully filled. All atomic orbitals are fully filled. That means there is no vacant electron to react. That's why they call generally zero group, means there is no unpaired electrons. And the next one is they called inert gases, because if any atom is filled with orbital, that means electrons are filled with orbitals, full filled orbitals, then they are highly stable. If any element is stable means what happened? It's highly reactive with other elements. That's why helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon generally they are inert gases, because they never react with any other compounds. But actually some xenons can react. So I'll tell you in zero group elements, clearly I'll tell you about this concept. So most of the elements are inert in nature. And they called noble gases because the most of the elements we can extract from the air. So we know the air is a mixture of elements like oxygen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, along with some halogen like inert gases also present. That's why most of the in zero group element we will discuss clearly about this concept. Most of the inert gases we can extract from air also. We can separate from air. So that's why they called inert gases or noble gases or zero group elements. And the next one is the middle set, this one. This is called D block elements, and here the group is classified from here. This is first group, that means 1B. This is 1B, it's 2B, it's 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, 7B, 8B. Iron, cobalt, nickel belongs to 8th B because these all are belongs to same set of groups, so that is 8th B. Totally here we have 8 groups with A block and 8 with B block. But overall how many groups here? Total 18 groups. How to give the 18 groups here? So I will write here. This is the first group or 1A, 2A, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th group, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, sorry, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this way we can say either 18 groups or 8 A groups, 8 B groups. The two ways they classified. And the last one, that means these elements are called lanthanoids. First row is called lanthanoids and the second one is called actinoids. These all are belongs to F block, and this is S block, and this one is D block, and this group is P block. That means based on the last electron, presence in the last electron, the elements are classified into 4 blocks: S block elements, P block elements, D block elements, and F block elements. So this is the further classification based on the blocks and group wise and periods wise.